Hi there, it's Jo here, and I am today going to talk about pick a card readings, but I'm not going to do a pick a card reading. I am going to explain to you what they are, how to use them, and how to get the best results from them. So if you love pick a card readings like I do, which is why I make them, please stay tuned and get a cup of tea and get settled, and let's jump right into it. What is a pick a card reading? A pick a card reading is a group reading. First and foremost, it's a group reading. It's not personal, it's not private, it's not about your family, it's not about your life, it's not about your loved ones, it's not about your lover. And those things are all reasons why we come to a pick a card reading, but they're not about those things. But just hang on a minute, because I absolutely love pick a card readings, and I'm going to explain to you how you can use them and get the best out of them. So a pick a card reading is a group reading. We need to remember that, because there can be great pick a card readings and there can be really crap ones. And if you tar them all with the same brush, so if you say that they're all one thing, then you're completely missing the mark. Now, I'm really passionate about this because I make them. So of course, I'm going to have a great view of them. I've heard some really negative comments about pick a card readings. And so that's why I'm making this video, because I wanted to clear up how I see them and how I think you can use them to get the best from them. One of the best things about pick a card readings is they're free, so you get to scroll through YouTube, or let YouTube select some pick a card readings randomly, or you choose the subject you want to find out about. So if it's your love life or your career, you search pick a card reading career. But we'll come back to how you might search for what you're looking for, because there's an art form to that too. But a pick a card reading is generally done with tarot, oracle, sometimes runes, sometimes astrological dice are included. Like a lot of pick a card readers are now incorporating other aspects to their readings to keep people watching longer and to keep people interested. But remember, it's a group reading, it is free, so you take what resonates and you leave the rest. But the best thing about a pick a card reading is it's a place where your guides can help you get intuitive information that is for you to listen to, that is direct guidance from your higher self, from your guides, from whoever it is, your divine team that you believe in, that you value, and that you trust. And if you use it as that, then you're going to get so much benefit from a pick a card reading. And it's it's like having your own tarot or oracle or psychic or mediumship reading. It's almost like that. But again, we're just going to put a disclaimer there. It's not, because it's not a private reading. So it's not on the energy of your life. It will pick up on themes and things. It's like it'll, hook these little bits that'll link back to your life, and that's how you use it. So you make sure that you're using it for intuitive guidance or for guidance in life, but that you get the insights that are right for you, and you don't listen to every single thing that the reader has said and make it work for you, because that's not what they're meant for. Pick a card readings are great ways for you to access intuitive guidance. If you're someone who loves intuitive guidance but feels like you have a block to accessing your own, so from your guides, and even people who are psychic, clairvoyants, mediums, etc., they need to go elsewhere to get their information. Sometimes some people are really great at downloading all that information and listening to it and not letting their egoic mind get involved. We all would like at some point some guidance from somewhere else that feels like it can bypass our regular thinking mind, because that's what we really want to do. And that's when we go to clairvoyants, mediums, tarot card readers. We go there because they have a bit more of an objective viewpoint when it comes to our lives and a bigger picture. They're looking at an overview, whereas we're drilling down to that little tiny layer of detail. And that tiny layer of detail and that mundane mind get us all confused, and often we can't hear our own guides. We can't hear our own messages that are coming to us. So by using a pick a card reading, you can bypass that normal everyday mind, and you can get to the good stuff. You can get to the guidance that you're waiting for or that you want. So what are the things that a pick a card can do for you? It can give you guidance, insight. It can help you make a decision, but you don't give your power away to either the cards or the reader or anybody. It's about helping your team get the message to you that you need, and then you're making that decision from that information. So for me, the number one takeaway about pick a card readings is it's your team, your divine guidance, your intuition. It's everything. It's you getting a message to yourself that you can't often hear because your mind is too busy, too distracted. It wants to focus on those mundane details, and it wants to control everything. So your higher self, your higher mind, your spirit guides, whoever you want to call your divine team, they're the ones that are getting the message to you. And it's brilliant how they get it to you. So let's look at how they get it to you. So when you're paying attention to the signs that your divine team are giving you, you might be aware of signs. For instance, one sign that I've had recently is the word Pan and the symbol Pan and the picture of Pan. You know, the guy who plays the little harp, and he's half goat and half man, and he has horns. And so I kept getting that symbol. So it's something for me to look up, which is something I did before I made this video. But I was listening to my intuition, and I was listening to that signs, that guidance, that intuitive insight that my team are getting that message to me. But sometimes we're too busy. Sometimes we're not paying attention, or we can think it's a sign, or we can think that it's coincidence that we've just seen Pan 10 times in 2 days. The symbol of Pan, the word Pan, you know, look, you can overlook things because you're busy, because you have a busy life. You might have kids, you might have a really hectic work schedule. You might be someone who's new to this, and so you're not paying attention to those signs. How else do messages come through to us? Dreams, signs, like I said, I kept seeing signs, words, songs, conversations. You might overhear things, and those things are your team talking to you. So all of those ways, and besides sitting in meditation and, you know, getting into a zone, walking in nature, playing your favorite sport, and a message just coming into your mind. But like I said, we don't always listen to those messages, and sometimes we might be getting those messages and we want more. We always want more. I always want more, that's for sure. I want to know more about what that thing is. I want it opened up. I want it investigated. I want somebody else to tell me, because we think that we need an authority. We need somebody else to tell us about whatever it is that we want to know about. So that's why a pick a card is a perfect thing for that. But we always want to remember, we don't give our power away to the reader, to the cards, to anything else. All of these things are simply the tools that our team is using to get the message to us. Now, the best way of using a pick a card is letting your team guide you every single step of the way. So it might be that you have a favorite reader. I have favorite readers on YouTube, just like you probably do too. Now, sometimes they might do a pick a card that's all about something that I'm not interested in. Don't watch it. I don't watch it just because they're making a video. I choose my videos based on what I need to know at the moment. I'll look at my favorite readers and see what videos are coming up for them, like whatever video they've made this week. I'll look at it, and if it's not right for me, I won't choose it. I'll search on YouTube, and we all know how to do that. We might search up pick a card love, pick a card career, pick a card higher self messages from and guidance from your higher self, whatever it is that you might like to choose a pick a card about, or what you want to know some information about. But what I am going to tell you to do is how to get the best from it. So instead of going to the reader that you know and love all the time, if they're doing something about career and your career is set and you don't feel like you need to know that right now, then find something that you want to know about on that day. Let your team guide you. Let your team guide you to the messages that you're supposed to hear. That way you're going to get the messages that are right for you. Don't continue to search on Does He Love Me and look at every version of Does He Love Me and watch 100 pick a card readings about Does He Love Me. You know, I think this is one of the reasons why pick a card readings get bad names, because when you Google or you search, do some research into the most common search terms, it's most often love. And obviously we all love a good love story. We all want to be in love. We all love romance and all that sort of stuff. But if that's what you're doing with your time, your guides get impatient. They get bored, and they're often not paying attention, or they know that you're not listening. So they'll still be trying to guide you because they don't ever stop. But if your free will is, if you're searching for love, why doesn't he love me? Why is he not listening to me? Why is she not taking any notice of me? You know, all that stuff. It's like you're subverting the communication that your guides want to give you. You're not going with the flow. You're stopping yourself. You're stopping yourself dead in your tracks because you're not paying attention to the guidance that you're being given. If you allow that to fall away and go to a different, pick a card that might not have any love reading, you might find that that message is all about something that is related, but just by chance. Not because you controlled it, not because you forced it, not because you corralled all your energy into this one basket, but because you opened up, you got some new information and then another bit of new information. And those bits of information help you find where you need to go. Pick a card readings can be abused, absolutely. And I try not to make videos about those sort of suggestions that I just made. I make every now and then, I'll make a love one, but they don't feel that the word is safe. And what I mean by that is I don't want to contribute to something that I don't think is that healthy. I don't feel asking the same question over and over and over again, regardless what it's about, is a healthy thing for us to do when we come to pick a cards. And I understand that when we come to pick cards, we may not always feel great because that's why we're looking for this extra guidance. But I don't want to reinforce that with my readings. So I make readings that resonate with me. I make a variety of readings and topics because I want to contribute to a healthy use of pick a card readings. Anyway, you know, that's my stuff, and you may not feel any of that stuff, so you do what you want to do. Let's get back to the topic at hand. Let's focus on that for a little bit more. So our guides are getting us want to get us messages. They're doing all sorts of things. It's up to us to listen, to process it, and to try and remain open to the possibilities of what those messages might be and not trying to make them conform to what we want, which, you know, is so hard. I know I do it all the time, particularly when I'm reading for myself. I think that I know what I'm looking at all the time, and it relates to what I'm thinking about. And I have to really try and open myself up so that I can be aware of other messages that my guides want to tell me. And what is really funny is that sometimes you'll start watching a video and you think, that's not for me. That message is so not for me. It's got nothing to do with me. That's not happening in my life, blah, blah, blah. And then the next day, you may continue to listen to it. And the next day you go, oh, actually, that's what it's about. I now know. Because you were blocking the message. You weren't open to what the message was giving you because you were assuming it was going to be about A when it's about D and F. You weren't open to those other opportunities being there. You wanted it to be about this thing. And so you see that you're blocking that information. You're blocking that energy off. And we do that all the time without really understanding and being aware of our own, you know, of how we work. So our guides want us to be as open as possible when we come to a pick a card reading. So let's say we want to find out about the messages, that important or urgent messages that are coming to us that we need to know, you know, something we need to know. There's a stack of videos about that, stack of pick a card readings about that. How do you know which one to choose? How do you know which reader to choose? How do you know which thumbnail to pick on? How do you know? We've agreed we all know how to search for a pick a card reading, and if you don't, put that in the comments and I'll make a video about that. But how do you choose the person, the reading, and we'll get to the cards in a minute, but let's just choose. How do you choose the video? And look at my hands. I'm going to talk with my hands, so look out. You've got to listen to your intuition. You've got to let your team guide you. So if you're scrolling and one of them just seems to pop, one of them seems to stand out, even if it's only got 5 views, you know, you've got to follow your intuition. You've got to follow your guidance from your guides. They might guide you to someone who speaks in a language that you can barely understand. I've done that a couple of times and I've got something out of those readings. It's made it harder for me to listen to, of course, but I have got the message that I needed to hear. And even if I only choose to watch half of that video, my guide still got the message, and they may need to reinforce it with somebody else, but I got the message eventually. So don't pick your favorite reader all the time. Of course, if you love somebody, there's many readers that I love, and I will go back to their readings. But if I start watching it and it's not for me, I turn off, because I know what my guides, they're basically saying, this isn't for you. You're bored because and you're not paying attention, because this is not the information you need to hear. So you've got to really be tuning in to what you need to know. And your guides are going to give you that clue. It might be that there's emojis in the subject line or no emojis in the subject line, and that grabs your attention. It might be that the picture, the thumbnail itself, is the thing that puts you over the edge. It might be the cards that the tarot or oracle reader is using that helps you pick which one to choose. It may be the font they use. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. What's happening is your intuition, your guidance, your guides are directing you to the video. They're telling you, that is for you. Hey, look over here, look over here. That one is for you. Pay attention. That is the message they are trying to get to you. And when you click on it, there may be some things that challenge you, particularly if it's not someone you've watched before. It may challenge you because your body might tense up. Sometimes the tension is guidance to not watch the video. Sometimes the tension is your body, your cells, the energy in your system, knowing that you're about to hear something really important. So sometimes you've got to just judge, and you've got to be on both sides of that. Which end of this spectrum is it? Where am I here? Is this nudges to not listen? Or is this a nudge to pay attention even more, because there's something coming that I might have a resistance to, which is why I need to hear it from someone else, because I'm not getting it for myself. Okay, so I've got some cards out here as if we're going to do a pick a card. While you're looking at your screen, you'll often have, some readers do this. Some readers hold up the decks, different decks together, and ask you to pick a card that way. This is the way that I choose. I put down most of the time. Sometimes I use crystals as well. But this way, you've got the cards to look at. Now, how do you choose the right card for you so that you're always going to get the reading that is right for you? When you're looking at these 4 cards, or however many piles there are, you need to focus on where you're being drawn, where spirit wants you to go, where your guides are leading you, and not to your favorite number, like 3 or 4 or whatever it is, 2. Don't pick that card. That's not your card. It's never your card. Sometimes it might be, but it's not your card based on your favorite number. It's not your card based on the side of the screen that it's on. It's not your card based on anything else. Even, like I'm pointing at cards. It's only your card if your awareness is drawn to that card. This is the card that's drawing me. So I'm going to turn it over, and it's Smoke and Mirrors. And I can't even remember what I asked, so let's not worry about what it means right now. This is my card. This is my card that is going to have meaning for me. Some readers do their shuffling beforehand, some do their shuffling as it goes along. But what happens is Spirit is cutting out all of the other options and telling me that is my pile. So then when the reader tells you to jump to your pile, this is where I'm going. Now, sometimes you'll find that you're drawn to 2 cards. Great. Go with both of them. You may not hear everything in this reading, and this reading may not all be for you, but there may be a section of this one and a section of this one. They might all be for you, but it's not as common. So how do you listen to your intuition? Because this one is something that quite a lot of people struggle with. How do I know which one of these cards is for me, particularly when you're starting out and you don't trust your intuition? As the person is talking about the cards, just notice how you feel in your body. It could be that you have a tightness or a relaxed feeling in your body. Notice what that feeling feels like. They may put crystals, and I don't have any little crystals, but they might put crystals in front of the cards. And that might be the thing that that helps you select which pile. Don't choose your favorite crystal. Don't choose your favorite rune. Don't pick the word because it's your name or it starts with the letter of your name or any of those things. You pick the card or the pile based on the energy of the objects or the pile or the deck or anything that draws your attention, that draws your interest, that your guides are using as the tool to get you where you need to go. So again, I'm still being drawn to this one. Okay, so this pile is going to be my message now that I've got the crystal there. Sometimes though that changes. Sometimes I'll be, watching along and the reader's talking about whatever subject they're going to do, whether it's past lives, whether it's whatever. And I'll be like, yep, I'm picking pile one, that feels right to me. And then they put down the crystals and I'll go, oh, hang on a minute, that quartz cluster, that's really drawing my attention. Maybe I need to go there. So what do I do then? I look at them again. I might pause the screen and I'll just, there are lots of ways you can do this. You could imagine picking this card and see how your body reacts. See how your solar plexus reacts. See how your mind reacts. It might say instantly no. It might say yes. And say, let's say I'm choosing between these two. Then I choose this one. And again, I see how my body feels. And my body is tensing. My solar plexus are tensing. And the more that I feel into that feeling, I get the no. So I know this isn't my card. It's this one here. And as I say that, my body relaxes again. So for me, that's my way of doing it. But there are so many different ways. You might have, really good intuitive sight, or you may not know that you do, but that could be the way they get your attention. So it might be that this just reflects the light. It might be that the swirl here seems brighter, more in contrast, more in focus, almost like it's got little sparks coming off it. There's lots of different ways visually. It might be that everything else seems a bit dull or out of focus, and the one you're choosing is completely in focus. But your guides are getting you messages, and it's up to you about how you listen to those messages. So let's say I've chosen my pile, and it's this beautiful emerald, and I've got the smoke and mirrors. The next thing I'm doing is following that. I don't say, oh, I don't like that card, I'm not going to listen, because even though I might not like what comes up, my guides drew me here, got me here, so that I'll listen to the message. I'm going to use 2 cards for my message. This card actually is for me. This is my card. It jumped out while I was shuffling those last cards, so I know this card is me. And the storyteller is what I'm doing right now, telling a story. So, it's perfect. And the smoke and mirrors, I still need to figure out. But I'm not tuning in while I'm doing this video because this video is simply me talking. So I haven't tuned in with my guidance, but I'm fairly sure I'll get this message as we move along. Now, sometimes when you see the cards, you're going to get a message. However many cards the reader has out, you're going to get a message from those cards. Seeing them sometimes gives you the message. It's not always the most common way of getting the message, but it is one way you can get a message. It could be that a particular card that gets thrown up just does something for you. It really gives you some information. It tells you something. For example, the Ace of Cups. This is about emotional fulfillment. It's about a lot of different things. But it gives me a message of Qigong because it's something that I do, and it's heart-based and it's fulfilling and it's an energy work. And, so I get a different message when I see this card, but not all the time. But if I was watching a reader and they were using the Lightseers tarot deck and that card came up and they were talking about something that didn't necessarily relate for me, this might talk to me either about energy medicine, it might talk to me about my Qigong practice or teaching Qigong, or it might talk about the other things that the Ace of Cups can talk about. And you don't need to know the meanings of these cards for them to have meaning for you. Now, I've taken heaps of notes about this video because it's really something that I'm very passionate about, and I am going on and on and on and on and on. So I'm going to cut it heavily. But one of the things about tarot reading is that the message is sometimes the message. And I'm going to put it in inverted commas, and I'm not a person that does that. But sometimes the message is the message, and you're going to hear the message. It may be that you listen to 10 minutes or 20 minutes of a reading, and there may be one sentence, and that's your message. It may be the whole 20 minutes is your message, but it's up to you to be discerning about what is the message, and don't try and make it fit. Like I said, I wasn't really thinking that clearly when I shuffled those cards. The Smoke and Mirrors card is attracting me, but I don't know why yet. But I'm not going to make it fit. If it doesn't make any sense, I'm not going to struggle with how this fits into my life. I'm going to say, you know what? I was shuffling for a general reading. It doesn't fit my circumstances today. It's going to, because it's drawing me in different areas, but I am using an example of how not to make everything fit, just to suit how you're feeling that day, and particularly if you're in a really either energetic, frantic sort of state or emotional state where your mind is searching, wanting, grasping onto things so that you can feel better, safer, more comfortable. We do a lot of things to make ourselves feel comfortable. Sometimes the message is the message, and that's tick, big box, you've got it. Sometimes the reader at the beginning of the pick a card, they ramble on and on and on. And sometimes I do this too. I try not to, I try to do short intros. But there are times when people talk about a topic and it can seem either not related, or it can seem like you don't want to listen to it. If you listen to it, there's something in there for you. Don't find it. If you're open and if you're relaxed, it comes to you. And that's the main message there. Now, other times you might be watching a pick a card reading. You might be listening to this and not watching me. Hopefully you're just listening to me. And you might hear, see, think, imagine, get transported to a different place and time. You know, something else might just be brought up in your world. You might think of a day that you met your partner, and you might remember it really specifically, but you might remember something about it, not the whole day. You might remember the first words they said, and it's not something that you go over and over in your head. It just pops into your head. That is your message. No matter what's happening in that reading, even if you're not listening to the words they say, you're being transported into this reading space. And that is when this reading becomes more for you. That is when it becomes more than a general reading. And that's why I absolutely love pick a card readings. Because what often happens is the reader, the intuitive, and when you get a good one, that person transports you into a private reading, into your space, where you can take what's being said, where you can take what you see, hear, feel, remember, whatever it is. You can take those things and play with them, run with them, know that they're for you, know they're yours. They're not Tom, Dick and Harry's. They are mine for that day. They're what my guides wanted me to hear. Woo, getting a bit sort of emotionally, I'm feeling so much heat in my body because I'm feeling very seen and very heard. And perhaps that's what that card is about. Not using smoke and mirrors to hide behind them, being me and being seen. Something, that we all challenge with. And this card adds up to a 6. And without using smoke and mirrors and hiding behind a screen or the cards or whatever, without the smoke and mirrors, I'm comfortable and at home, because the 6 is a home number. About feeling at home within yourself or wherever you are. Now, like I said, this place, this creation that's happening doesn't always happen, and it can happen in other videos you're watching on YouTube as well, or other things. But pick a card readings for me have that ability to take me out of my current situation, transport me into a space where my guides are cherry picking the information that I need to hear. For example, I watch pick a card readings when I'm cooking. So I'm preparing my family's dinner and I've got my pick a card readings playing, and I may be listening to headphones because everyone in this house is doing other things. And sometimes I'll pause the pick a card if I need to walk away from it. I'll pull the headphones out. But I may not always hear it because I'm, maybe cooking something, or I may be running water, or someone else interrupts. So I don't always hear everything that's going on. And sometimes I'll come back with, oh, I've got to hear what they said. I've got to hear what that was. There are other times when I'll go, that's not mine. I don't need to worry about it. That message is not for me. The other thing is, it's often I am walking my dog and I'm listening to headphones and I'm not watching the screen, so I don't see what they're showing me. And there are times when I do watch, when they talk about something and I'll rewind it and see what they like I said about the Ace of Cups being about different things for me. So I will go back and see what it is that they're looking at so that I can decide whether that message is for me. But again, I'm listening to my intuition when I'm doing that, going, oh, my guides are drawing me back. What is it that I need to see there? And it might not be what she's talking about or he's talking about. It might be this puff of white energy that's moving in there. That might draw me. It might be something else. So that's what I'm getting at. And again, so smoke and mirrors, and I've got the puff of energy that I'm being drawn to. So I think my question was, what am I getting out of making this video today? And it's so funny because, these are the things. The storyteller, I'm becoming a storyteller, listen to me ramble on. Smoke and mirrors is me getting out from that hiding behind smoke and mirrors, behind things, getting my face in front of the camera, which is something I'm not terribly at home with. 10 of Pentacles is, it's a lot to do with family, is a lot to do with generational stuff, which I'm doing a lot of work on my own family karma at the moment. It's also setting things up for future generations, which is what I feel like I'm doing with the work that I do. I'm not going to go terribly into that because it's quite personal. And then I've got 2 aces, which are all about new things coming into my life. One is, something I feel really passionate about that fills my cup up. And the other one is something that I'm really excited about and I've got lots of ideas about. And the way I've set my YouTube channel up today, my space, all that sort of stuff, it feels like I'm changing up. So lots of personal messages in there for me from this pick a card that I didn't even really focus on terribly. But again, how you can see how it's tailored to me, but some of those things that I've said may also resonate with you. Now, what I said just then about the fact that I can get transported in a video to a specific reading that is specifically for me. Doesn't always happen. It's not par for the course. It is, it's the exception to the rule. It's the extraordinary. It's not the exception to the rule. Sorry, that's not the best way of saying it. It's the extraordinary. It's when everything aligns. It's when I'm listening. It's when I'm watching what they're telling me to watch. It's when I'm not saying, oh, I want to listen to that person's video today. It is me doing all the things that I'm talking about and following those intuitive breadcrumbs, leading me to the reading that is right for me for today. And it's me getting out of the way and not picking my favorite number, not doubting myself, not doubting my intuition, not saying, oh no, that's not the right one for me, or I don't know what the right one for me is. There's all that stuff. It's listening to all of those things and allowing, and then also getting out of my own way to listen, not, going, oh, what are they going to tell me? What are they going to tell me? And really focusing in and locking down energy, constricting energy, controlling it, wanting to, be the master of it. It's not that at all. It's like I said, it's going for a walk, doing cooking, things that I feel relaxed when I'm doing, except for when I'm, trying to get dinner done in a hurry because I don't listen then. But when I'm relaxed, then the messages that are supposed to get to me. It's like everything else is filtered out. I don't hear the crap that I don't need to hear. And that's how a pick a card reading can be magic. That's how you can find so much power in a pick a card reading, that you can get the message that you want for free. It's on tap basically. And your guides get to send you all of this intuitive information that can help you, can support you, can help you stay in the flow of your life. And that's why I make them. That's why I love them. That's why I watch so many of them. And that's why I'm making this video today, because I know there are people who say they're crap, they're shit, they're not real, they're fake. And for me, I think I may have thought that in the beginning, and I may have watched them to, oh God knows why I watched a pick a card reading in the beginning. Probably because I got something out of it, you know, like it goes back to Doreen Virtue, watching Doreen Virtue do a weekly pick a card reading. And sorry, she didn't do a pick a card reading, she did a weekly reading for people who tuned in. And I got something out of that. And so it stayed in my mind. And then when I saw pick a card readings, I started doing them, you know, for my Facebook and Instagram channels. And I found that I enjoyed it, but I also got something out of it. So then I started making pick a card readings on YouTube, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And I enjoy it more and more and more. I love doing private readings for people, but I get a lot out of doing these readings too. And they teach me so much, and they make me focus on group energies, which are so different from a private personal reading. But I know that myself and all those other readers out there, we're part of a collective who, and as I'm saying this, my body is just relaxing and brightening and opening up. We're delivering a message to people that can be helpful, that can be guidance, insight, and it's not us doing it, not this, you know, meat suit that's running around in my world. It is my higher self that is bringing something else to the people that are watching me, and the people that need to hear those messages at that time. If you listen to all the things that I've talked about today, and if you've stayed this long, thank you. It's been rather longer than I thought it was going to be. If you listen to your guidance, if you listen to your team guiding you all the way through, if you filter out all the other things, if you don't make it work, if you allow yourself to be transported to the space, it's like this space of other. You'll be really transported, and you'll also be given a lot of guidance, insight, wisdom, assistance. And it's not me, it's not the cards, it's your guidance from your team. So pick a card readings are one way of accessing that information, that intuition that you might not be listening to all of the time. And when you do get into that zone, that space, it's like, wow, you've just got, like you've been given a magic, it's like you've been given a crystal ball or something magical. You've been given a gift from your guidance, from your team. You've been given a beautiful magical gift that allows you to see through a situation, into a situation, around a situation, and beyond a situation that may be feeling like it's so on top of you, you can't move it. And that's why pick a cards are awesome things to use as a tool and not to abuse them. I was going to make this video, and I had some other things that I was planning to make and talk about, but I feel like I've really talked about the reason why I wanted to make this video. I feel like I've talked about the magic that a pick a card can be, and you can listen to skeptics and people who don't believe in them. That's fine. That's up to you. You know your own mind, and you know what to listen to. And I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. I'm here to open them up for you, here to show you that, or your guides want me to give you this message. It's about using them as a tool to get some insight. If I could put it in one sentence, that's perfect. They are a gift from your guides, from your team. They're a gift and a tool for you to use. I hope you've enjoyed this video. There is quite a bit more that I wanted to cover, but I think I might, stick on topic and maybe come back and make another video that covers some of those other topics. If there are things you'd like to see me cover about pick a card readings, please let me know. I'm really passionate about it. I love making pick a card readings, and I've really enjoyed doing this video today. It did take me a long time to work up the courage to do it. I wrote this stuff about 3 or 4 weeks ago and was really excited when I wrote it, but then decided that I wasn't ready to sit in front of the camera and do it. So I'm just sharing with you a bit of my own fears about challenging, some of this stuff that these cards here today have helped me navigate, talk through, and share some things with you. Thanks for watching me so much. If you have enjoyed this, if you like pick a card readings, please consider subscribing to my channel. I make lots of them. I make one a week, and then I make a video about something else. If you've enjoyed this, please like the video because it'll help other people see it. If you think someone else in your family or friendship group would enjoy it also, please share it on all your social channels or any of your social channels. And thanks for watching and staying all the way to the end. Hope to see you again in another video soon. Bye for now.